Hello, my name is Catherine Hotledge, and this is video discussion week 1 regarding psychopathology and a Christian worldview. Psychopathology is the field of study that is concerned with nature, development, and treatment of psychological disorders. It is continually changing, adding new findings, growing. There are continually new methods being discovered, new ways to approach these illnesses that can help people more. It is also a field that most people find interesting, as we have all known someone who has struggled, or we have struggled ourselves with mental illness and mental health. Psychopathology can be approached from two very different perspectives, secular and Christian worldviews. There are benefits and consequences for each. For example, many people with a Christian worldview of psychopathology encourage those who are struggling mentally to use the Bible and its teachings rather than seeking professional help. There are also those from this line of thinking that believe a lot of mental disorders are demonic in nature. Although I certainly have a Christian worldview of psychopathology myself, I also see the need for professional counseling and medication when needed. According to PT, in an article from 2019, religiously reinforced stigma toward mental health is a major obstacle to treatment. He goes on to list its principal causes as fundamentalist thinking, communal bonding, misattribution of psychopathology, traditional beliefs and healing practices, and adverse experiences with secular providers. On the flip side, when a secular counselor is seen by a religious patient, they can feel as though they are not understood and may terminate the counseling relationship early because of this. There has to be a balance between the secular and the Christian worldviews in order to be most effective in this field. The last decade has seen a major increase in the number of practicing Christian counselors. For a very Christian patient, that may be the best option for treatment. As with anything, the extreme of either line of thinking is usually most unhelpful. In order to be of assistance to those seeking help, it is first and foremost important to find out how the patient feels. As counselors, we have to realize that our patients do not have to share our beliefs, and we must never try to push our beliefs on them. So, I myself have a Christian worldview. I approach everything from the perspective of Jesus Christ first. Although I do have a strong Christian worldview of psychopathology, I also believe mental health and disorders associated with it cannot always be explained using the Bible or religion. For example, if I were to see a patient with Christian beliefs struggling with depression, I would certainly encourage him to seek God for comfort. I may pray with him as part of counseling if he is comfortable. However, if this does not work, I would recommend him to someone who could treat depression with medication. I think the best way to go is to use the best of both worlds and combine them. As Christian counselors have increased in popularity in the recent years, most people who desire to see a Christian counselor can usually find one. On the other hand, there will be patients who are very uncomfortable with any religious or spiritual talk. They may be put off by a counselor who brings up religious or spiritual things or speaks of prayer in a counseling session, and they may also terminate the relationship early because of that. I would have to honor my patients' wishes, no matter what they were. Although I believe that leaving Jesus out of therapy is impossible. If I had patients who did not believe that way, then I would just have to approach my end from the spiritual side when they're not with me, and I would pray for them and things like that, but I would not make them aware of it. And when I was with them, then I would focus on what they wanted to focus on. I would certainly always bring up the idea of prayer and developing a closer relationship with God, because I think that's the only way that any mental health can get better in the long run. I wouldn't force it on anyone. So, thank you very much.